in connection with the, excuse me, the soul entering the body, that there had been some disagreement about the soul chosen to enter the body, and in this interaction somehow there was some damage caused. Is this conceivable?
This is possible. As you are aware, everything is possible, and it could be that in the blocking out and the controlling mechanism at that point in time, that particular soul chose to be unable to function clearly in the world because of some circumstances around why they were choosing to come in or to not come in. We do not know the soul that you are speaking of, and therefore it is not something that, unless we travel to the body, which we could do, we are able to speak on at this point in time.
Could there be a struggle among souls for a particular physical body?
Usually, no, this is not the case. There are some individuals who would think that the souls are out there all fighting for the beautiful universal body, but no, this is not the case. There are usually those souls that are ready to reincarnate and come back in pretty much know what it is that they need to look like and what life patterns they need to go through. And there are not too many instances of where there's more than one soul wanting the same body. It is all taken care of very nicely in the universe.
Are there enough bodies to go around for all the souls who wish to incarnate?
I know that this is a ponderous question that often those on your planet say no, and certainly I believe Mr. Monroe is quick to say there are many more souls out there wanting bodies, and certainly there are times when bodies are possessed by lower spirits where there's more than one spirit inhabiting the body. But for the most part, because of timing and because there is no timing here, there are enough bodies at any point in time for those souls that wish to work on the planet to come in and to work with. You must remember there are other realities going on, and we do not necessarily need bodies on your planet to take care of the things that are going to be learned from this side. And there are many things that can be learned only at this level, and a body would be useless for us to have.
Yes, I have a lot of feeling for that.
Uh-huh.
As you know, we have two visitors in our laboratory this morning. Phil and Ellen are with us, and we have a couple of questions from Phil.
Very good, that is fine.
Right. One of them is a biggie, I guess. I'll ask the smaller one first here. This is not really a small question either. He asks, are we right in placing so much emphasis on the value of a single human life?
This is a good question. As you are aware, when you look at the metaphysical viewpoint, the single human life is but a fly speck in a multitude of a universe. It is but a less than a grain of sand in the entire picture. And certainly the single human life does come around again and again, perhaps not in that particular body form. Because the soul cannot die, there is of course the concept that the human life makes little difference. And when you look to some of the countries that are suffering today, you begin to wonder if we should be spending so much time looking at a single human life. But the bottom line to our way of thinking is yes, you should pay attention to the single human life, because the soul in that life is there learning particular skills and problem solvings and means and ways of being that help that particular soul grow. And if you did not place emphasis on human life and on caring for others, you would not be helping your own soul grow, because that particular human life is, as you're aware, your own life. And so if you have no respect for a single human life outside of your own or your own, you are not going to grow.
In connection with that, is it appropriate for us to give a good deal of our attention to the struggles of peoples in other parts of the world and so on? Is this a useful thing for them or for us to give a lot of our attention to that?
There are many more things in your country at this point in time you should be paying attention to, although, of course, it is always well to be concerned with your fellow man and to realize that you are all mankind, and it's not this country, nor is it that country, but it is the total oneness that your planet must come to grasp with. However, on your own continent, there are many things going on that the people on your continent should be aware of and should be turning their interest into looking at the poverty that is there, the crime that is there, and numerous other elements that need to be taken place, and the reasons for these things need to be looked at and adjusted. It is easy for those who are in a middle class situation to look to the starving people in Ethiopia and think that they are buying their salvation by sending them money and grain, when in fact there are people starving under their nose for one reason or another, and they are ignoring them because they are neighbors.
Yep.
Your country has also taken to a form of protectionism and potential for violence that is not good. There is too much use of arms. There's too much taking of arms. There is too much fundamental
It's only gotten worse.
theory being passed throughout your country that is not consistent with the laws of the universe. This fundamental theory, the fundamental conceptions have potential to cause much harm on your particular continent if those who are more in line with the nonviolent way of thinking do not rise up and make themselves heard a bit more. And there is the paradox, because most people who are passive and nonviolent are also not aggressive or assertive and are very quiet. And it is those who tend to be more belligerent and aggressive that can cause the most harm.
Phil works and teaches in the area of criminal justice. I wonder if you have any messages for him that will be helpful in his work.
When we look to the criminal justice system, we must look to see exactly what is being taught and what we need to teach. We must look to see whether we are talking about trying to catch those people who are dangerous and whether we're trying to catch them and lock them up, or whether we are looking for the true causes and what we can do about the true causes. The concern right now between the shifts on the planet to lock numerous people up is not the way that you are going to solve the problems that arise from within the justice system itself. The other problem with the justice system is not something you can teach unless those that you are teaching do go on to be lawyers and ultimately judges. That is the only place that you will be able to affect change, because it is in the highest part of the judicial system that you have many of your problems. There are many who are sitting judging who should not be judging, and the very term judge is not something that we actually have room for on the planet or in this particular plane. One must be extremely fair, and one must be totally objective when weighing what you are doing with one's life and what you are going to do with others' lives and how it can best be functional. So I would say for you to start by teaching fairness and by teaching the students that they must be able to see the total picture, always to be able to back up and see the total picture of what is going on and how what is going on and how what they will do will affect the total, not just one particular case, not just one particular point in time. He may ask other questions. We see a cloud. We would like to break through the cloud.
Do you have a follow-up question? I could use this microphone.
The information you gave is very broad, and teaching students about
fairness. It's such a broad thing. Can you be more specific?
We can give you examples if that is what you like. We believe that you could bring in cases and teach the people to think. At this point in time, students do not know how to think. They are mainly spoon-fed. We suggest that you bring forth actual cases that show both fairness and unfairness, and teach the students how to read into cases. Perhaps there will be cases where no decision has been made, but narrow it down and teach them to weigh all the answers, possibly using some of your background in perception to teach them how things are not as they seem. For instance, if you can teach the students using the method of what is called a reverse print, where what you see on what is called a reverse print is not actually what is there. If you can teach the students something like this so that they realize that they are not seeing the total picture, then by the very method of teaching them to think will help them automatically in their future endeavors. We do suggest that you use various types of casework and or situations to get them to see the total picture, and often you can leave out a certain element, but a crucial element, and have the students only at the last minute. You may give them the crucial element, or maybe they do not know that it is missing at all, and like many individuals, they will jump to their conclusions before all the facts are in.
One of the difficulties I detect is that there's a growing acceptance of revenge as a justification for responding to those who commit crimes, and a frustration with trying to help those who commit crimes. How do you address this?
The concept of revenge is what I was addressing earlier with those who are willing so quickly to take up arms, as opposed to seeing the total picture of what they are doing. The revenge concept is a thought form that is right now in the collective unconscious, and the ultimate way that that is going to be solved is by working to change the thoughts, by pulling in studies and showing that revenge is not the answer. Unfortunately, many of these individuals who choose the path of revenge are not into metaphysical aspects and do not realize that it will come back on them. It is not until these individuals learn that what they send out comes back tenfold that truly the concept of revenge will die a graceful death. You can only be a model.
Yes, thank you for that. Another question Phil wanted to ask about was what is morality? And I guess I would want to add to that, is morality something that's limited to the earth plane, or do you deal with issues of morality on your level also?
No, we do not. Morality is your concepts, and we prefer that you keep them. As you are aware, morality is a concept that calls for judgments. We do not have judgments on this plane. We do not have right and wrong or good or bad. We have things that just are. Morality is a concept that sprung from times further past than you could ever imagine, times when there was a necessity to control individuals, and the control was first put forth in a concept of what morality was. It was not until those in charge started to try to control individuals and to define what they could and could not do that the term morality came out and into being. And thus morality is an individual thing that's governed by whoever happens to be holding a specific belief about what it is. On our planet, because we are all one, I'm saying planet just to give you a different space and time, because we are all one, there is no need to judge whether something is moral or immoral. There is no room for the concepts.
What's that weird ass voice in there?
One of the ways that our morality seems to focus in child raising has to do with the handling of certain kinds of emotions, particularly anger, which I guess gets involved in the revenge issue also. Our